Selling a home in 2026 is not the same game as it even was just 2 years ago. And today I'm going to give you 10 things you probably don't know, but you need to know before you list a home in Fernie, BC. Sellers are getting hit from every angle. Buyers can legally back out of their offers after acceptance. AI photos can create real liability if you don't disclose it properly. Short-term rental rules can change the buyer pool overnight. And new flipping taxes can turn a normal sale into a surprise tax bill. So if you're thinking, Craig Belzy, buddy, I'll just listen this spring and it'll sell, I'm telling you, 2026 is going to punish the lazy listings. If we haven't met yet, I'm Craig Bell. I've been a realtor in the Elk Valley for a long time, since the 80s in fact. And I'm obsessive about one thing, a clean strategy that helps keep you protected and gets you the best price the market will actually support. And today we're going through 10 seller moves for Fernie in 2026 with what to do, what to avoid, and what to put in writing. Now let's get into it. BC has a home buyer recession period, meaning a buyer can rescind within 3 business days after acceptance. That's not subject removal. That's not financing fell apart. That's a legal right. And now buyers who rescind, they'll pay a 0.25% fee to the sellers. But here's the part the sellers miss. Your listing is effectively in limbo for up to those 3 business days. Now, I haven't seen this put into place yet, but you can. Like buyers doing it if they needed to. So in a market where momentum matters, that can kill your leverage. What you do in Fernie, okay, you got to keep your showings running for the first few days after acceptance, unless you have a firm reason not to. Backup offers matter more in 2026 than they did in 2021. And don't emotionally move out of your house until you're past that rescission window, and especially until your subjects are removed. Number 2, your photos can now create compliance risk. AI and virtual staging. You can have some weird, funky stuff out there. I'm sure you've seen it on some of these social media platforms where all this AI enhanced photos and virtual staging. In 2026, a lot of agents are actually using AI tools to remove the power lines, to add furniture, change grass, skies, fireplaces, views, you name it. You can erase it. Yeah, I'm serious. But in BC, if you alter or enhance your marketing, you need to clearly label it so it's not misleading. BCFSA is explicit about this. Altered or virtually staged images should be labeled to avoid misleading a buyer. And here's what sellers don't realize. If your listing creates a misleading impression, it doesn't just annoy a buyer. It can become a disclosure complaint and a deal killer. Fernie specific reality. In a mountain market, buyers care about view corridors, proximity to amenities, slope, grade, drainage, snow storage, parking. If your media makes something look materially different, you're inviting conflict. So this is what you do as a seller. If it's virtually staged, you have to watermark it properly, virtually staged. If it's a concept rendering, label it. Don't let your marketing outrun the property, okay? In other words, don't spruce that puppy up so much that there's absolutely no way that that is actually the house that they're buying. Number 3, short-term rental rules can change your buyer pool overnight. Well, even if you don't run an Airbnb, short-term rental rules can affect your resale value because they affect who can buy your home and why. BC's provincial STR framework includes a principal residence requirement in many communities, and the province maintains a list of where it applies. Now, I'm not going to pretend every Fernie property is impacted the same way, but here's the strategic point. If your home's premium is based on an STR income potential, you need to verify before you set pricing expectations. So for sellers, before listing, you want a clean one-page buyer confidence sheet that answers, is this a short-term rental allowed and under what conditions? What does the strata say, if that's even applicable? And what does the municipality say? What licensing or registration is required? Because the fastest way to lose a buyer in 2026 is if they think that they're buying a lifestyle home and an income property all in one, and then they learn at condition time that the income is not legally supported, yeah, that deal could fall apart. Financing could fall apart instantly. Okay, number 4, flipping tax. Yeah, this is the dumbest thing I've ever heard of. Sorry. This is a surprise bill to sellers who don't see it coming. Okay, if you sell within 730 days of owning a BC, they may treat part of the profit differently, except in certain life situations. So in other words, for 2 years, yeah, that's 700 days. And it applies to sales on or after January 1st, 2025. Now this is separate from the federal anti-flipping framework that also exists. But basically, you need to do some research if that's your intention and pay attention to what you find. Now, why this matters in Fernie? Fernie has a lot of renovated resales, investor repositioning, people who bought and then life changed and now they need to move on to something else. In 2026, I'm just selling is not enough. You need to know, when did you acquire the house? What was the intent when you purchased it? Are you inside the 2-year window? And are you exempt? So a seller needs to do a pre-list tax sanity check with your account to see if you're anywhere near those timelines. A 15-minute conversation with your accountant can prevent a 5-figure surprise. Number 5, the appraisal isn't American UAD, but Canadian lenders are tightening. The script is shared US-centric, but the principle absolutely applies here in Canada. If lenders are still risk managing hard, and when buyers are rate sensitive, the deal is more sensitive to appraised value, property condition flags, and documentation. So in Fernie, where homes can vary massively, block to block, you need to make the appraiser's job easy. Have an appraisal package ready, list of upgrades and dates, permits if you have them, strata docs if applicable, and a clean feature sheet that matches reality. If you upgraded something high-end that the neighborhood doesn't typically reward, that's fine, but you price it strategically, not emotionally. Number 6, strata sellers. Form B is not optional anymore in the real world. You need to get it. If you're selling a strata property, condo, townhome, strata lot, anything strata, you need to treat the Form B information certificate like oxygen. BC's Form B discloses key strata lot and strata corporation information and is commonly requested by buyers. And as of April 1st, 2023, Form B includes a required insurance summary. So for sellers, in order to organize your strata package early, including your Form B, minutes, financials, bylaws, insurance summary, depreciation report if available. Because in 2026, buyers don't panic about the countertops first. They panic about special levies, insurance, and CRF health. If you want top dollar, don't let your deal die on paperwork delay. Number 7, title problems. Gotta fix them before you list. Okay, pay attention to that. In BC, land title records are maintained by the LTSA, and you can order the title information through a title search. What sellers keep doing is listing first, then discovering an old discharge that isn't registered, an estate issue that isn't clean, a name mismatch exists, a right-of-way on the property surprises everyone, or there's some other registration snag. Could even be a lien. Things that just stick out like a sore thumb, cause a little bit of commotion. So for your sellers, before you list, do a title pre-check through your lawyer, notary, or even your title rep. Fixing title issues under contract is where deals go to die, especially when buyers have other options. Number 8, disclosure is tightening, even if the form isn't mandatory. In BC, sellers have a common law duty to disclose latent defects, and licensees have disclosure duties under the rules and around material latent defects. BC also has different disclosure approaches including no disclosure style statements used in practice. But here's the strategic truth. If you try to hide the ball, you don't just risk your ethics, you risk the sale. So in Fernie, for example, known water ingress, roof history, foundation movement, unpermitted suites, septic, well history, strata issues. Sellers need to do a pre-list walkthrough like a buyer would, identify the issues, and decide if you're going to fix it, you need to disclose it, or you got a price for it intentionally. 2026 rewards sellers who are clean, calm, and documented. Number 9, buyers are rate sensitive and the Bank of Canada matters again. The Bank of Canada held its policy rate at 2.25% on January 28, 2026. Even if you never talk about macroeconomics at dinner, your buyer's payment is being shaped by this stuff. What does that mean for you as a Fernie seller? It means the buyer pool is more sensitive to price reductions, condition, and total monthly carrying costs. So a property that is almost right, it can sit. And a property that is clean and priced well can still move. So for sellers, when you list, you want your strategy to answer these questions. Who is the buyer? Are they local? They're from Alberta? Are they there for the lifestyle? Are they investors? Or are they even downsizers or possibly even upsizers? What is their payment sensitivity? What competing inventory will they compare you to? Are there other homes on the street that they're going to go see yours and they're going to see theirs and they're going to like something better in each, and then they're going to weigh all the pros and cons of the house? Think about it. Which one would you buy? Number 10, your pricing strategy in 2026 needs a plan A and a plan B. In 2021, you could list high, test it, and still get activity because the market had urgency. In 2026, if you miss the market early, you're going to pay for it with stale days on the market, no showings, low ball offers, and buyer skepticism. So sellers, if you want to build pricing like a pro, plan A, your launch price based on real comps, real current buyer behavior, not necessarily on your neighbor that sold across the street that you don't know what the condition of it is, or even of the BC assessment. That's not always correct, right? Plan B, your adjustment triggers, written down in advance. If your showings fall below X, by day 10, we do Y. So for example, if your showings fall below 10 by day 10, we drop the price by 10 or something like that. You know what I mean? If we have no showings, but no second showings, we do this. Like we have to have some triggers to make some decisions here. And if feedback says price, we adjust it quickly. We don't wait. Okay? Agents will tell each other, buyers will tell their agents to tell the other agent, hey, it's priced way too high. But mind you, having said that, nobody ever says it's priced too low. So slow reductions in pricing feels like a weakness. Strategic reductions feel like leadership and that you're actually aggressively trying to sell. So here's a quick little recap for you. So those are the 10 things sellers need in Fernie for 2026. Number 1, rescission period changes the first week. Number 2, AI virtual staging must be disclosed. 3, STR, short-term rental rules can change a buyer demand. 4, flipping tax can trigger within 730 days. 5, appraisals reward documentation. 6, strata sellers Form B docs. Get them early. 7, title issues. Pre-check with LTSA and the lawyer workflows. Number 8, disclosure and latent defects will matter. Number 9, rates still shape demand in BC, according to the Bank of Canada, held at 2.25%, January 28, 2026. And number 10, pricing plan needs plan A and plan B triggers. Fernie is a fun place. Fernie is an awesome place to live. Fernie is a special market because people don't just buy a house here. They buy a life, they buy a lifestyle, and they buy potential memories. Powder mornings, biking after work, river days, small town community. But in 2026, lifestyle alone doesn't sell the home. Execution sells the home. Clean paperwork, clean disclosure, clean marketing, clean pricing. Make sure social media is a big part of your marketing. Okay? Can't just rely on realtor.ca, and you can't just rely on the MLS stuff or a sign in the yard. You need to have a good strategic social media marketing plan to go along with everything else. That's just my little tidbit bonus. So if you're thinking about selling in Fernie in 2026 and you want a strategy that's built for the way the market actually works right now, reach out and comment below. What type of property are you selling? Are you going to sell a detached, strata, acreage, or a vacation home? And I'll tell you which of these 10 points usually becomes the biggest landmine. See you in the next video. Stay classy, Fernie.